$6 billion.
Billions?
That is how much Aussie-founded company Canva is valued at. And success leaves clues, right? So tech companies should follow what Canva are doing and mirror their exact marketing activities to help get similar or the same success. Well, I have a warning today for any companies or any tech startups who are copying Canva's marketing and expecting to get the same results. The more mistakes they can make in their marketing, the lazier they can get with sticking to conversion best practices, and the more stakeholders get involved in the decisions of what actually goes out from their marketing, and brand starts to outweigh conversions and money sometimes. It starts to have more pull in the discussion. So how can they still make millions of dollars and be valued at billions of dollars if they're making mistakes in their marketing? Well, it's because their brand clout makes up for it. And that's something that smaller brands and new tech startups who are still establishing themselves, they don't have that. So today we're going to be looking at Canva's landing page, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm going to show you exactly how I would improve conversions on their landing page so you can steal these ideas and get more leads, users from your marketing today. Okay, so today we're going to be tearing down this Canva landing page. You can see here we've got the above the fold, we've got more as we start to scroll down, the plans and pricing, and at first look, it looks like a nice page, right? It's clean. Of course, you would expect a nice clean design from Canva. It's got little USPs, it's got subheads, it's got testimonials. It looks like it ticks all the boxes. Now, this page is where I've come into the ads library and we've gone from some of their ads. Any of their ads talking about Canva teams are pointing to this page. So today I'm going to be showing you on desktop. Now, it is coming from cold traffic, which means you should check in mobile, but the things that I'm going to be talking about today are more universal and it's easier to review this in a desktop. So the first thing that's good about the page that you'll notice is that there is no navigation on the page. So if you look at their website, navigation, but there's ways for you to get lost, right? So they're actually sending it to a dedicated landing page where hypothetically, there's only one thing that you can do on this page. They understand the assignment, right? Like the goal is for you to sign up to Canva Teams. And that's what I see a lot of tech companies getting wrong. They send a lot to their website. This should be tested, but typically you want to send traffic to a landing page, a dedicated landing page where they can only take that action. But now we're going to start getting into how I would improve the above the fold to help boost conversions. So the above the fold is our most important real estate. We pretty much all know that, right? We have a split second, under a second to get somebody's attention. The first thing that it needs to do is it needs to be congruent with what got the click. So coming through here, basically it seems to be saying what the ads say. I want you to notice maybe this ad, let's assume that this ad might be the best ad, or some of these ads, they're all pointing to the same thing. Brand consistency, find out why millions, brand presentations, logos, etc. When I click here, we don't actually use the congruent language. We start to use different language. So one thing that your marketing team can do is see what ads are going really well and start to mirror that language into your landing page and split test the headlines to see what messaging is actually getting you the most users or leads. Next, we have the call to action. It's actually a little bit confusing because we've got try Canva for teams, okay, and then we have get Canva free. But when a user is reading this, it kind of insinuates that Canva Teams isn't free. Now, upon further investigation, when you scroll down, you've got this here, right? Start your free Teams trial. But the other call to actions don't say that. So that is actually quite confusing. And when I first landed here, and then you click the pop-up, it doesn't say anything about it being free or trial it for 14 days or trial it for 30 days. So it's a bit of a confusing user experience. The next thing it's missing is a friction remover under the call to action to get the click. The point of the call to action button is to get the click. So for example, you might have underneath that trusted by 300,000 ambitious brands, whatever. Or you might have 100% free, no credit card required. Whatever it is, whatever like is going to impact or is an objection to the purchasing decision, or is something that can heighten or excite them to actually click the button, having that underneath the call to action removes the friction of clicking it. But what does this look like in practice? Let me show you. So I've written 2 different above the folds, and they're both pretty basic, right? I took under 5 minutes to create these. So with the first above the fold, the #1 design tool for Australian teams to create world-class content and grow their business. And you can see how that's different from Canva, design for teams. For here, we've got Canva 3 times. Like, we get it, you're Canva, cool. But in the headline, what we want to do is help people to quickly establish, is this for me? So what, who cares? What's in it for me? Also remembering that they will promise something in the click, right? So here we've got the #1, because they probably are and they can probably back it up, design tool. So that's the market category. This is how people contextualize who you are and what makes you different. We've got Australian, the geography. So that could be for any, like you could do this based on any location around the world. To create world-class content, I don't know, you'd have to survey the audience and grow their business. I'm assuming this is the dream outcome. And then instead of having this chunk of text, I've turned it into 3 bullets. Build your brand, engage your audience, create professional designs together. Then we have try Canva Teams free, 1 clear call to action, because why would we try and get them to do the other? Like, why would we try and get them to do Canva free? Canva free is for individuals. Maybe there needs to be a link off the page or a little bit of text somewhere where it's like, are you just one person? You're not a team? Was our targeting off and we accidentally pulled you into our web? Click here, or whatever it is. And then you'll notice here, it's probably a little bit small, but you'll notice here in the call to action, this is an example of a friction remover. Trusted by 12,000 identity, ambitious brands, creative brands, whatever, to create content. And that's how you could do it. The second example, make it easy for your team to create and launch designs in 2023. I've worked with a lot of other tech companies. One that I've worked with was a project management tool called Punchlist. And so I've done a big research deck on project managers. And so I was kind of drawing on that. But of course, without surveying your customers, you don't really know in their words what's important to them. I'm somewhat assuming internally there's all of these stakeholders and it's really long and slow and laborious to ship content. So that's what I'm trying to tap into there. And 2023 makes it timely. Now in this subhead, I have highlighted the offer. Join Canva Teams for free in January. You can literally code that as a dynamic month. And then I've looked at the ads and thought, okay, well, maybe like it should say logos or brand guides or whatever it is. But we've got world-class social media content, branded print collateral, engaging videos. And then I've got join Canva Teams free. I would test out that call to action with more friction removal. And I would be pretty confident that something like this would outperform the control. The control being this, Canva, design for teams. But how can you as a brand figure out what should go in your headline or what should you highlight? So a lot of it all stems from your core brand messaging, who we serve, what we do for them, and the result that we get. Then you create sub-key messages that you can test, and it depends in the context of your marketing when you leverage them. As an example from one of our clients in the past, they were the ultimate cloud-based fiction writing software, right? But then we surveyed their existing customers, their existing users. And what we found was that so many of them had started a book or had thought about it or really wanted to, it was on their bucket list, and they just had this idea for this world that they wanted to bring to life. So that was one part of it. They really wanted to start and finish their novel. They didn't believe in themselves. They just never got it done. And second to that, the real dream outcome when you kept unpacking it was that they wanted to become a published author. Then we realized that in the back end, we had all of these resources that we could give to our audience and speak about that on the front end marketing, the top of the funnel, but we weren't doing that. And instead we were talking about the technology, right? Cloud-based fiction writing software instead of the psychology. And that's what I see tech brands, pretty much all of them, get wrong because they're so obsessed, and oftentimes rightly so, they're obsessed with the tech they're creating. However, they forget that that tech needs to solve a problem, All it does is it moves somebody into a dream outcome. The tech is just a vehicle. So you need to make sure that you are not obsessed with your technology, but get obsessed with the psychology of your consumers. So to recap, this has got timely. It re-establishes the offer. It gives clarity around what is the offer, what's the urgency to get started, and it contextualizes the uses of Canva into their lives. So we also spoke about the pop-up. It's not really congruent. There's no urgency. The offer isn't clear. I like that it's easy. You know, there's some brands that don't have these quick logins. This makes it easy. I would have this as bullets, and I would remember, what is the purpose of the form? We want them to take the next step. Every asset you create in your marketing has a purpose, and the purpose is to get them to take the next step. The email is to get the click, the landing page is to get the sign up, etc., 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 and so on and so forth. Everything has a purpose. So again, we need to say it's free, and we need to establish, what am I signing up for? It's confusing about what you're actually going to get if I sign up and what's going to happen next. We have to remove that friction. And as we start to scroll down, because I'm not going to do the whole page because most of the users probably don't scroll past here, like maybe about 50% get up to about here. And so you need to remember that, right? When you're creating your landing page, so many people hide their good stuff at the bottom of the page. And you have to think with this page, if this was a salesperson selling one-to-one, and it had this information and it said these things, would it actually convince and motivate and persuade somebody to take the action that we want them to take? And so that's why we just want to focus on the first couple of panels, because in terms of prioritization of fixing on your page, this is where you should focus as well. So this second panel, also considered the lead. This is like our lead for our copy, right? Everything your team needs to create powerful content. Arguably, maybe it's a bit vanilla. Is it what the words of the target market, or is it something creative and cute and clever? I don't know. You'd need to see the data. But here, I think that this copy is too small. This loading thing is distracting as well. Like why? This is moving and we're not guiding the eye where to look. And when we create our pages, it should not be design led. It should be offer led, a golden hippo offer, because the best design, world-class copy with a shitty offer will never outcompete the best offer in the world with average design and average coffee. It is a strong offer and a clear what's in it for me that is going to motivate and persuade somebody to take the action we want. So looking at this section, it's like, okay, text is too small, text is too long, and I don't know if it necessarily helps with scannability or hits on what the target market wants. So for the advice Canva never asked for, here I've come in and I've got simple templates to ship fast. Trying to think about the target market, right? What are their objections to signing up and what are their big problems that we solve? I want to show very quickly that we solve the problems that they're having. So then I've just left that copy as is. But what I've done now is start to use social proof with intent. And it's just not enough to slap a slider onto your landing page and call it a day for social proof. You can use social proof much more elegantly by intertwining it throughout your page, helping to obliterate objections or helping people to see themselves in the testimonial. So here, simple templates to ship fast, blah, blah, blah. We were able to double our social media output. Wow, that's what I want. Will my resonate? Next, all design feedback in one spot. We stopped losing design feedback and saved time by removing the annoying back and forth person from a company. Do you see what I'm starting to do here, where the subheads talk to me, it resonates with me. These are the problems that I want to solve. Wow, this company gets me. Remembering all we do is sell a dream outcome. Our tech, our product, our service, it just moves our dream avatar into their dream outcome. And the clearer that we can show that we're a vehicle to do that, the better our conversions are going to be. So again, 12,000 free animations, video and audio. Keep all collateral on brand. Grow your social media in one spot. See how this is talking more to them? It's scannable, and I'm assuming hits on those pain points. I'm a business owner, they hit on mine. And then we have testimonials that help us to prove that we can achieve what we say that we can achieve. We're using irrefutable third-party proof to show that we can help you to get the big claims we are making. So how would I do this in your company? It all comes back to getting customer obsessed and doing that survey. You can ask great questions like, what were you trying to use before you found business? Or how would you explain business to a friend or a colleague? And you can start to see in their words how they would describe their pain points, hopes, dreams, and fears, and your company. Your customers are your best marketers. And if you just ask them and talk to them, it starts to put your marketing on easy mode. Another thing you could do on this page is show real designs by real brands. So you could show the designs that Coca-Cola made or IBM or whoever's using this and contextualize what they did. So if this was me, I would want to test a panel. Here's just some of the amazing designs you could create, and show a social media panel, show a logo, show a brand design, show a this, and leverage the company logo saying, these are the companies that made these things. Going back down the page, the plans and the pricing, I find this section confusing, right? Because what is the point of this page? We want to get people to sign up to Canva Teams. And even though it's like a free trial, you still often can have the pricing on. I would test whether having this, but this starts to make it like, okay, well, why wouldn't I just do Canva free? Like, why am I doing Canva Teams? And then we're starting to cause friction in the mind, right? A confused buyer doesn't buy. Confused person doesn't buy. And this is confusing. And it's making me work for it. It's like, oh, okay, there's a drag and drop editor. Oh, does this have a drag and drop editor? So you see how it starts to create that confusion? So instead, how I would reposition this section is have it as, here's everything you're going to get for Canva Teams today. And then list it out, right? The pro version. Usually blah, yours to test 100% free in January or for 30 days or 14 days or whatever the hell's going on this page. And a lot of tech brands get this wrong, right? And this is my next point around the golden hippo offer. They think because they've created this tech solution that they're entitled to users using it because they're like, wow, this is amazing. It's going to change lives. But people don't care. Like, you have to work and you have to contextualize the value of what you do, and you have to explain, so what, who cares, and what's in it for me. And so you still have to think of your tech as an offer, and you still have to show the different features and how they solve a problem. And you still need to have urgency, scarcity, and the other persuasion triggers that are actually going to get you more leads and users now. So I would kill this, and I would just have this. But instead of being like, oh, it looks like I have to pay, but it's actually free, I'd list everything out, normally, cut through, I would have an image of a value stack of all of the things you get, and I would look internally at what bonuses and what assets and what collateral, what templates, or what do we have that could sweeten this deal? Because at the moment, this is not irresistible. There's no bonuses, there's no reason I should act right now. And I'm sure Canva have heaps of cool resources, partnerships, etc. that is going to help with the purchasing decision. For example, imagine if you got a free training from a really well-known or famous graphic designer on how to create the perfect social media post. And that's what everybody who signs up in X month gets. So get creative and think about, why should somebody act? Just because you slap together a page doesn't mean somebody's going to sign up. Okay, and there we have it. That is the Canva landing page breakdown. Here's some of your key takeaways. Above the fold, focus on this. Your headline is 80% of the work, right? If it doesn't match the click, if it isn't exciting and intriguing to keep reading, you're going to have users bounce. So focus your energy on the above the fold. Don't get all worked up with what's down at the bottom of the page. You know, you should still think about the whole page, but that is where the money is made, the above the fold. Have one clear call to action and survey your audience to understand what do they want in their words. What is their dream outcome? Just like we did on that other example that I showed you for one of our clients. Make sure that in your copy, you're using the words of the target market. Think about the user experience and where is there any friction in that experience? Where is it confusing? Where could it have better clarity? Make sure you're using social proof with intent. Don't just slap a slider on. When you make a big claim, prove with a third party, irrefutable proof that you do accomplish that. And finally, think about your golden hippo offer. So what? Who cares? What's in it for me? How are you going to help me to solve my problems and move me into my dream outcome? So I hope you enjoyed today's training, team. And remember, knowledge is power, but it is totally useless if you don't take any action from this today. So leave in the comments what you're going to implement or what you could change on your landing page. Or if you have a tech company that you want me to tear down, or you want me to check out your existing landing page and give you some feedback, leave it in the comments and I will give you some unfiltered feedback and tips on how you can start improving your conversions as quickly as possible. Otherwise, team, I'll see you on the next video. Bye.